Hello there, good afternoon. You're watching Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Natasha Jamra. This is the news updates coming up in the bulletin. Chief of Staff Dr. Julius Deborah commends Ignite Media Group for putting sanitation and environmental sustainability at the center of its agenda at its maiden Clean Conference. And Zoomlion Ghana Limited begins self-funded disinfection and disinfestation exercise across markets and sanitary facilities in the Greater Accra region. Later on Good Afternoon Ghana, we will bring you speeches, sounds and sights from the maiden edition of Ignite Media's maiden Clean Conference. We have details of these and many more coming your way. Do stay. Thanks for staying. Now let's start off with the Chief of Staff, Dr. Julius Deborah, has commended Ignite Media Group for putting sanitation and environmental sustainability at the center of national agenda. Speaking at Metro TV's Clean Conference 2026, he called on Ghanaians to choose discipline over debt and action over excuses, insisting that a clean country is not a cosmetic ambition, but a test of leadership and citizenship.
Every morning before Ghana goes to work, our streets tell a story about us. The drain beside the market, the plastic bottle left on the pavement, the condition of public toilets, the color of a river after heavy rain. These may look like small things. Together, however, they reveal how seriously we take public health and the future we are building for our children. A clean country is therefore not a cosmetic ambition. It is a test of citizenship. It is a test of leadership, and it is a test we must pass together. I am honored to join you this morning for this important conversation. I commend Ignite Media Group for bringing us together and for placing sanitation and environmental sustainability where it belongs, at the center of our national agenda. These issues deserve attention before the rains come again, the drains overflow, or diseases breaks out. When sanitation system works, societies prosper. People are healthier, hospitals carry lighter burden, children miss fewer days of school, and workers are more productive. The World Bank estimates that countries lose between 2 and 4% of their GDP each year because of inadequate sanitation. That is money lost, time lost, and human potential lost. Here in Ghana, we have made progress, but we must be honest about the distance still to be traveled. Millions of our people still lack safe household sanitation, and open defecation remains a reality in far too many communities. These are not merely statistics. They describe the daily indignity of fellow citizens. The government of President John Dramani Mahama is determined to close that gap. Through the Reset Agenda, we are investing in health, water, sanitation, and hygiene, because development must be felt where people live their lives. As Chief of Staff, I have the privilege of helping to translate the President's vision into results that Ghanaians can see and feel. In sanitation, promises mean very little unless they show up in clean drains, reliable water, safe toilets, and healthier communities. The 2026 budget allocated more resources to the Ministry of Health and provided targeted resources for water infrastructure. Government is expanding water systems, supporting rural sanitation and hygiene promotion, and strengthening the institutions responsible for cleaner communities. We have also reintroduced the National Sanitation Day, observed on the first Saturday of every month across all 16 regions, and 261 districts as part of the broader Clean Up Ghana agenda. But one Saturday alone cannot carry the burden of the entire month. Its objective is just to constantly remind us that we need to keep our environment clean. The cleanliness must become a daily habit, something we must all pay attention to. Metropolitan municipal and district assemblies are being held to a higher standard. The Cleanest City Award will encourage healthy competition amongst assemblies, while the performance framework for MMDCs will include clear sanitation indicators. What we measure, we can manage, and what we assign, we must hold people accountable for. Our environmental work goes beyond the streets. The Blue Water Guards are helping to protect water bodies and confront illegal mining. The Tree for Life initiative is restoring degraded landscape while creating opportunities for young people. Clean cities, healthy rivers, and restored forests belong to the same national mission. That mission also requires enforcement. We have laws and bylaws. They must become visible in the way we live. Indiscriminate dumping cannot be tolerated. Houses should not be built without proper toilet facilities. Structures must not be allowed to block waterways and place whole communities at risk. Enforcement must be firm, fair, and consistent. Rules applied only occasionally or only to those without influence will not change the behavior. Government will support relevant agencies to do what the law requires without fear or favor. But there is a third part of this responsibility, and that is all of us, the citizens. Let me make it personal. If I, Julius Deborah, were filmed dropping an empty bottle on the street, I know exactly what will follow. The headlines will be loud. Social media will be even louder, and rightly so. The office I occupy places a high burden on exam.
Managing Director of Ignite Media Group, Klaus von Backenstein, has called on stakeholders to move beyond discussions and accelerate practical action as the 2030 deadline for the Sustainable Development Goals draws closer, stressing the need for stronger partnerships to advance environmental and operational goals. He also spoke at the Clean Conference.
Our theme, assessing Ghana's progress towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, is both timely and necessary. The Sustainable Development Goals represent a global commitment to building a world where development is inclusive, poverty is reduced, inequalities are addressed, and the environment is protected. And every individual has an opportunity to live a dignified life. But 2030 is no longer far away. We are approaching the final stretch of the SDG agenda, and this requires us to pause and ask some honest and difficult questions. How far have we come as a country? What have we achieved? Where are we falling behind? What are the barriers to progress? And perhaps, most importantly, what must we do differently to accelerate action? Ladies and gentlemen, for Metro TV and Ignite Media Group, this conference is not simply another event on the calendar. It represents our commitment to using the power of media to contribute to national development. As a media organization operating through Metro TV, Original FM, and Metro Digital, we recognize the enormous influence and responsibility that come with reaching audiences across different platforms. Our responsibility goes beyond reporting what happens. We must help citizens understand what is happening. We must provide platforms for informed discussions. And we must ask questions when institutions and leaders need to provide answers. We must highlight the problems and the solutions. And we must give a voice to our communities and individuals whose experiences can help shape national policy and development.
And now the representative of the Gaman chair at the Ghana Sanitation and Clean Conference, His Royal Highness Nii Kojo Ashifi Papanyura I, has urged traditional authorities to take a firm stance against the allocation of wetlands, waterways and green spaces for development as part of efforts to address Accra's growing environmental and sanitation challenges. He also stressed the government's gradual loss of willpower to get market women off the streets contributes massively to the growing sanitation problems we're facing.
Which was once a seasonal inconvenience, has become an annual crisis in many of our communities. Yeah. And this has been worsened by the choke drains and unregulated development on waterways. Yeah. They are not merely environmental statistics. These are matters of life. These are matters of dignity. Yeah. And these are matters of public health of our people. Yeah. Yet, I do not stand here only to catalog our shortcomings. Yeah. I stand here to remind us of our shared power to change this trajectory. Yeah. The traditional authority, the government, the churches, and civil society each hold a piece of the solution. Yeah. As chiefs, we control land allocation, and we must be firm in refusing to release lands that are wetlands, that are waterways, and that are green spaces for people to develop. Yeah. Government must watch policy with consistent enforcement and investment in modern waste infrastructure. Yeah. When Chief of Staff spoke, he gave a bit of when his time at the Ministry of Local Government. Yeah. What I also want to add, because I worked with Chief of Staff at that time, was those were the days that we did Abaye. Yeah. And we tried to get the market sellers off the street. Yeah. Gradually, we're getting less and less willpower to get our markets, women off the streets and into the market. The volume of garbage that is generated by these people who sell on the streets is unbelievable. Yeah. In the mornings, when you walk through Accra, especially the road from Kingsway, the old Kingsway, down to NIB Bank, going towards the Commercial Bank, it's unbelievable what you see. And this is very worrying to His Royal Majesty. Yeah. We need to have the political willpower to get these sellers off the streets.
And the chairman of the Christian Council, Reverend Enoch Nah Thompson, has emphasized that the earth belongs to God and that humanity are not its owners, but rather stewards entrusted with the responsibility of caring for it. According to Reverend Thompson, environmental stewardship is not only a civic responsibility, but also an act of worship. He cautioned that polluting and destroying the environment amounts to an offense against God and an injustice to generations yet unborn.
The earth belongs to God. We as human beings are not the owners of the earth. We are custodians and caretakers and stewards entrusted with its management. Our responsibility, therefore, is not merely to use creation, but to preserve, protect, nurture, and beautify it for present and future generations. Since creation belongs to God, environmental stewardship is not merely a civic responsibility, it is an act of worship. To pollute, waste, and destroy our environment is an offense at ourselves, an affront against God, and wickedness to unborn generations. To protect, restore, and nurture creation is to honor God and to give concern to our future generations.
And the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu, is calling for a decisive change in public attitude towards sanitation, stressing that protecting Ghana's environment requires a collective action. Delivering a speech on his behalf at the Clean Conference, spokesperson for the Chief Imam, Sheikh Amiyal Shaibu, lamented that indiscriminate plastic waste disposal, open defecation, and the sale of food around refuse dumps decades after independence reflect a deeper sanitation crisis that demands urgent attention.
Excellencies, the Honorable Chief of Staff, after almost 70 years of independence, it must be disturbing for all of us, even in the light of the pictures that we saw just now, that sanitation remains one of the major problems plaguing our dear nation. Poor sanitation, as evidenced by environmental pollution due to industrial emission, poor disposal of industrial waste, poor disposal of plastic waste, open defecation, poor disposal of domestic waste, both liquid and solid, contamination of our water bodies, disposal of waste in our gutters, particularly during the incident of rain, sale of food in close proximity to refuse dumps. The health hazards and other implications associated with these negative and destructive practices cannot be overlooked for a number of reasons. Ill health that plagues a nation makes the nation unproductive. For a nation to produce, it needs citizenry that is healthy. But our deteriorating health condition due to this is something that we must look at. Economic burden of governments having to procure medicine, treating avoidable diseases, major among which is malaria, typhoid, diarrhea. Ebola seemed to be far away, DR Congo, but it can come to us. Climate change and its hazards. All these, poor sanitation weakens and undermines our potential for tourism. Most of the time we have made reference to Rwanda. It appears something good is happening there, and it's a tourist attraction. What is it that attracts people to Ghana, and what is it that can drive them away by way of tourism potentials? It is on a good side that when our tourists are coming, we show them these pictures. The Honorable Chief of Staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is in the light of these and other related issues that a conference like this on sanitation must be commended. Not only commended, but encouraged, and indeed practiced on a sustained basis. The mind that appreciates, the mind and the spirit that appreciates beauty does not destroy and does not accept and embrace filth and squalor. And so, therefore, this fight must begin in the mind. As we bring up our children and citizenry, how do we bring up children, and including those who grow to become adults, that they appreciate the God-given beauty, that when we appreciate beauty, we then destroy, that our set will reject filth and squalor. In that case, once we are alive with that consciousness, we will not litter indiscriminately. And when we see others littering, we will direct that the proper behavior must be done. So let's build a mindset of cleanliness and environmental consciousness among citizenry, and this must be a collective responsibility. Speaking from an Islamic point of view, say cleanliness, if you permit me just to make a point, I'll say this in Arabic. An-nazafa min al-iman. It's a tradition associated or attributable to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that cleanliness is part of faith. And I say strongly that therefore a Muslim who is conscious cannot be dirty. A Muslim who is conscious of his faith will uphold cleanliness, will not litter, will not defecate openly, will cooperate with government in ensuring that we have a nation that is clean. Indeed, it's charitable to remove any harmful object from the path. It is an issue worthy of the curse of God that you ease yourself at the source of water, the path where people walk, and the shade where people sit to relax. A serious act is said to attract the curse of God, that you cannot do this. When you go upstream and you ease yourself, so therefore you contaminate water for those who live downstream. You endanger their lives. It's a spiritual responsibility and a social responsibility. So therefore my assurance is in the light of the above. We as Muslims, and indeed I want to stretch it to all other people of different faith, we must be ready to partner with the Ignite group to improve sanitation and protect our environment for development and health on a sustainable basis. I bring you felicitation from the Chief Imam, and I want to assure you that the Chief Imam will be ready. And I who speak to him or for him mobilize our people, and when we are invited, we will, for emphasis, participate and ensure that we have a country that's so worthy of all tourists who come to see the beauty of our country. Thank you so much.
To some more stories, in Labour, the Ghana Mine Workers Union has called on the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to immediately halt moves to shift core mining operations from over-mining to contract mining, from owner mining, to contract mining, warning that the policy is worsening precarious employment and undermining workers' rights. The union said the increasing use of contract mining, outsourcing, and labour brokers is turning what was once a source of stable and decent employment into a sector characterized by insecure jobs, depressed wages, and weakening social protection. In a petition to the ministry, the Ghana Mine Workers Union, which represents more than 14,000 workers in the mining industry, said more than 95% of the sector's workforce was now engaged in fixed-term or casual employment. It said the situation represented a sharp deterioration from the employment structure before the introduction of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2020, when mining jobs were generally permanent and offered greater income and job security. The union accused some labour brokers, particularly those operating with some Chinese-owned mining companies, of treating labour as a commodity and subjecting Ghanaian workers, including mining engineers, geologists, and metallurgists, to what it describes as unacceptable working conditions. The union is also demanding decisive regulatory action to end fixed-term contracts, casualization, disguised employment, unsafe working conditions, and exploitative outsourcing in the mining sector.
This is not what we intended for the local content regulation. No, this is a complete reversal of what the intentions were. Mr. Minister, never told me. With the greatest of respect to you, the Ghana Mine Workers Union and over 14,000 of our members are totally opposed to this contract mining directive. Choboy, as I speak, we are getting some snippets of information from ZG and from Nemo about their intentions. Again, with the greatest of respect, we are opposed to it. Accordingly, we are directing our members, beginning 1st of September, Mr. Minister, we will put on red armbands and we will show our revulsion to the company and by extension the government about what is going on. By the end of September, we will take some more robust steps about this matter. It's about bread and butter. We can't sit aloof and allow these things to go on.
The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, had some response.
At the core of our local content policies is the interest of workers and work protections and job security of workers. So the local content policy of government at the core of this was to empower him, not to weaken him. And clearly, of what you have said, there are serious concerns you raise. We will study your petition and we will quickly get back to you with a view to addressing the process.
The petition follows a meeting between the ministry and the union on May 26, 2026, at which the union said a roadmap was agreed to suspend the Minerals Commission directive and establish a technical committee to investigate the concerns. Family of the late former Executive Secretary for the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, Isaac Bampo Addo, has announced that they will organize a mass service on Friday, August 28 at Winners Chapel International Headquarters in Accra in honor of his memory. This follows the sudden demise of Isaac Bampo Addo in the early hours of Friday, August 21. There's more in this report.
The entire country, particularly the Labour community, was thrown into a state of shock following the news on the death of the Executive Secretary for CLOGSAG, Dr. Isaac Bampo Addo. Social media has been awash with goodwill messages, with friends and sections of the public visiting the residence of Dr. Bampo Addo to commiserate with his family. Former Chief Executive Officer for Dilex Finance and brother of the late Isaac Bampo Addo, Kenneth Kwame Thompson, says the family would update the public on activities on the burial of the late CLOGSAG Executive Secretary.
We're comforted by the kind of person he was. He lived on his own terms, the things people have said about him. We know a mighty oak has fallen, but we know that they say that there's a silver lining in every cloud. So we'll celebrate him properly.
He has transformed CLOGSAG with this leadership. He's a dynamic leader, a bold, very strong and visionary leader. Big blow to the Labour. Very big blow to the Labour front. TUC, all the Labour unions.
It came as a heavy blow for somebody known to be generous and, well-spoken, very hearty, very friendly. Sometimes you wonder why we lose good people.
He's just a good man. God knows best. That's all I can say. He's the man of everything. Well, he picked all of us as brothers from the area, and even coming here has even let me know that it extends beyond what we know him.
So mostly we have these old ladies in the church that he supports. So when he's doing those things, he does most of them through me. We started with their Christmas packages, give them bags of rice, oil and all other things for their Christmas.
When I was lost and I didn't know what my life would be about and how I would go through, because it was a funding and there was no stipends attached to it. That was when I met him, and he held my hand throughout the entire 4 years that I was there. And when I finished, I occasionally would come and do attachment at his place, and after I finished, I got an employment through him.
Some close friends and Ghanaians eulogized Dr. Isaac Bampo Addo for the
Moving on, the Executive Director of the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman, has described Goldboard CEO Sammy Gyamfi's allegation that Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin is an extortionist as a serious claim that by extension raises concerns about Parliament. Speaking on Good Morning Ghana, Dr. Rashid Rahman called for the matter to be investigated, stressing the need to establish the truth behind the allegations. Also speaking on Good Morning Ghana, advisor on gender and social protection to the NPP flag bearer, Akosua Menu, and former MP for Tamale Central, Inusaf Hussaini, share their views on the ongoing public exchanges, also stressing the need for investigations.
I think this is an allegation against Parliament. Parliament needs to take this very, very seriously. Because like I said at the beginning, the office of the minority leader is not just office for one caucus, the MPP caucus in Parliament. I mean, that is a key structure within our democratic architecture and within the structure of Parliament. And people should not get away with just making allegations against the leader, the person who holds this office. So we need the truth, so that at least at the end of the day, we will know whether the CEO of the Gold Board is speaking the truth or not. And then if the truth is ascertained, I think it shouldn't be swept under the carpet.
Afeni Martin should not be the first to say that there has been personal attacks. He should not be. And I've constantly told him, I mean, when we were in Parliament together, that he should always try to take emotions out of his duties as a parliamentarian, and particularly as a leader.
Okay.
Because what emotions do is that they becloud thinking. In 2024, about $400 million was the policy cost for the implementation of the domestic gold purchase program. Nobody attributed that cost to PMMC. Nobody.
The IMF says the loss was occasioned by the GDPP.
Fact.
Yeah. So whether it appears on Gold Board's balance sheets or it appears on BOG's balance sheet, we have a right to question what caused the 1.7 billion loss.
Valid.
Yeah.
Who is responsible for the design, the pricing, the implementation, the decisions? If Honorable sits here to say that PMMC transferred its liabilities to Gold Board, it doesn't feed into this conversation because the loss is clear. It's ring-fenced against 2025.
Now, Ghana ended the 2026 National ICT Week with a call for stronger collaboration among government, industry, academia, and technology innovators to accelerate the country's digital transformation.
The event was organized by the National Information Technology Agency under the theme Innovation at Scale, Creating Opportunities Across Ghana's Digital Ecosystem. Deputy Director General of the agency, Anthony Usuansa, called on government to create the enabling environment for investors to thrive.
Innovation at scale requires an ecosystem. Government must provide leadership, policy direction, and an enabling environment. The private sector must invest and innovate. Financial institutions must unlock capital. Academia must develop knowledge and talent. Development partners must support strategic interventions, while innovators and entrepreneurs must continue turning ideas into solutions. No single institution can build Ghana's digital future alone.
The board chair of NITA, Estelle Akufio-Soa, described the strategy as an important milestone, providing a framework for the responsible and inclusive adoption of AI.
It's been a wonderful 4 days bringing together the media, of course, academia, innovators, students, businesses, of course, government officials as well. And our focus was really on how to scale, and that's what's important for Ghana. It's not just about one organization or an individual or a group of individuals. We really need technology to be scaled to benefit the whole nation.
The Vice President for Ghana Esports Association, Maximus Ametogo, also added his voice to the call.
Business schools also use video games as a tool to train people in strategy. Then what we also know as Minecraft, you know, young people, you can go and create, you have to go and look for build your inventory before you can build your world on Minecraft. And these are tools that people are using to educate people. In countries like South Africa, they are using it very heavily. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of school students learning Minecraft because it builds your mindset and all that.
Now, a 58-year-old wildlife resource guard with the Forestry Commission has been shot dead by a suspected poacher during the patrol operation at the Kakum Forest Reserve in the Assin South District of the Central Region. One suspect has been arrested and another is currently on the run.
Guard who was attached to the Kakum Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission was on patrol with 2 other forestry guards when they reportedly encountered 2 men hunting inside the protected forest. The incident occurred on Saturday, August 22 at the Assin Krua portion of the reserve. According to preliminary police inquiries, the guards attempted to arrest the 2 men, identified as Bukari Abudu and John Mensah, after allegedly finding them hunting without lawful authority. Police say Bukari Abudu reportedly pulled out a single-barrel gun and fired at the lifeguard, killing him instantly. The 2 suspects allegedly fled into the forest, but the patrol team pursued them and managed to arrest John Mensah. Bukari Abudu remains at large, with police efforts underway to apprehend him. Police and officials of the Forestry Commission's Wildlife Division later proceeded to the scene, where the lifeguard's body was found under a wawa tree about 60 meters from the boundary of the reserve, with a gunshot wound to the chest. A search of the area led to the recovery of a spent cartridge, footprints, and a single-barrel gun, which have been preserved as exhibits. The deceased body has been conveyed to the Eburu Adankwa Government Hospital morgue for preservation and further examination. The Central North Regional Crime Officer, Chief Superintendent Edmond Ajuman-Bidu, has confirmed the incident and says the arrested suspect is assisting with investigations. Police are appealing to the public to provide information that could lead to the arrest of the fleeing suspect.
We'll be back with more stories after this break. Do stay.
The pulse of a nation, rising, unshaken. When the Black Stars take the world stage, we don't just play, we bring the storm. Fuel the dream. Support the Black Stars. Storm Energy Drink. Make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semecha Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, Nesansu Mama Hotoso, a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hidradenitis suppurativa, using laser Legasure for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Main Tuber Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us and we will delight you. Visit Main Tuber Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Madam, I'm looking for Abena.
Abena, there's someone looking for you.
Madam, please, where's Abena?
Abena, yes, ma'am. Is this who you are looking for?
Madam, please get me Abena. Please.
Della. Abena, bra.
Oh, Abena. If it's not Abena rice, I can't eat any other.
Abena rice. Energy and kwa.
FDA. Ajayadi inkratso yatsumu.
Welcome to the Pan-African Sustainability Conference 2026, where Africa's brightest minds come together to inspire change. For 3 impactful days, you'll engage in thought-provoking discussions, discover breakthrough innovations, build strategic partnerships, and explore practical solutions advancing the circular economy and sustainable development across Africa. Whether you're a student, researcher, investor, innovator, or a leader creating solutions for tomorrow, PASC 2026 is where your journey connects with Africa's future. Organizations and institutions are also invited to partner with or sponsor PASC 2026, showcasing their commitment to sustainability while connecting with influential leaders and decision makers. Don't just witness the future, help create it. Join us from 8th to 10th September 2026 at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra, Ghana. Register, partner, or become a sponsor today at www.pascafrica.org. This conference is brought to you by PASC Africa 2026, advancing sustainability and circular economy solutions for Africa's future.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains. It's a special goal. Come the hour, come the man. This football is from the heavens. What a story this is. 10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
The biggest stars from the world's biggest leagues on SuperSport. It's on DSTV.
Chicken. Yeah, you know what to do. Parents, guardians, your Saturdays are about to be beautiful, exciting, and entertaining. On Metro TV, you are going to enjoy what is called massive home entertainment with funny face. I am back again, children. We are about to celebrate in your schools. We are about to dance in your schools. We are about to do everything we'll do in your schools. You will enjoy, I will enjoy, neighbors will enjoy. Everybody will enjoy. Children, be ready. We are going to do chicken, cow and chicken, cow and chicken. You just flap your armpit, open it, flap it, open, flap. Yeah. You see me in your school, you just open your armpit and you flap it. Chicken, that's all. You know what to do, my brother.
Time with the Children's President, coming soon on Metro TV.
Every Thursday morning, the spirit of the school come alive. From the marching bands to the dining halls, the fear and the panic stories, the convoys to old students' pride, to unforgettable homecoming moments. Metro TV brings you the school's homecoming show live
Relive the glory, celebrate the legacies, reconnect with the memories that shape legends like you. The celebrations, the anniversaries, the homecoming activities, and the legacy projects that you embark in your school. The Metro TV Schools Homecoming Show comes to you every Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. live on Metro TV. This is the Schools Homecoming Show live on Metro TV.
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you're getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge-prone transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations. Season 3 of the Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family.
So, I have 10 Ghana cedis in my pocket. Now think about it. If 10 Ghana cedis could buy you anything at all, what would you buy? I can think about so many things. Are you ready? Watch this space.
Welcome to GH Schools, your #1 training institute that offers practical-based tuition in media and a variety of skill acquisition-related areas. At GH Media School, we offer journalism and media studies, journalism and media arts, TV and film production, and multimedia production. Also, you are assured of the best beauty training with GH Cosmetology School. We offer training in massage and body therapy, makeup artistry, hair technology. Realize your dream of becoming an astute fashion designer with GH Fashion School. Here, we offer training in bridal wear, suits, ladies and men's wear, children's wear, and millinery. Do you have the interest of preparing sumptuous and tasty foods that meet local and international standards? Then, GH Catering School is the best place for you. We offer training in cookery, pastry and beverage production, events decoration, and hotel management. Be abreast with the current technological trends as you train with GH Technology School. We offer computer systems, hardware and software, CCTV installation, home security, and many more. GH Schools makes available well-equipped studios and workstations to give our learners the practical and industrial standard experience during tuition. Hostel facilities are also available. Instant admission is in progress. Register now. Purchase your admission forms online on Locate us at Achimota Abofu Junction, opposite the Shell filling station. You can also contact us on 0544 622 250, 0577 622 250, 0204 622 250, and 0277 622 250. GH Schools. We say train, practice, achieve.
So, I have 10 Ghana cedis in my pocket. Now think about it. If 10 Ghana cedis could buy you anything at all, what would you buy? I can think about so many things. Are you ready? Watch this space.
Every Thursday morning, the spirit of the school come alive. From the marching bands to the dining halls, the fear and the panic stories, the convoys to old students' pride, to unforgettable homecoming moments. Metro TV brings you the Schools Homecoming Show live Relive the glory, celebrate the legacies, reconnect with the memories that shape legends like you, the celebrations, the anniversaries, the homecoming activities, and the legacy projects that you embark in your school. The Metro TV School's Homecoming Show comes to you every Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. live on Metro TV. This is the School's Homecoming Show live on Metro TV.
Chicken. Yeah, you know what to do. Parents, guardians, your Saturdays are about to be beautiful, exciting, and entertaining on Metro TV. You are going to enjoy what is called massive home entertainment with funny face. I am back again, children. We are about to celebrate in your schools. We are about to dance in your schools. We are about to do everything we'll do in your schools. You will enjoy, I will enjoy, neighbors will enjoy. Everybody will enjoy. Children, be ready. We are going to do chicken, cow and chicken, cow and chicken. You just flap your armpit, open it, flap it, open, flap. Yeah. You see me in your school, you just open your armpit and you flap it. Chicken. That's all. You know what to do, my brother.
Time with the Children's President, coming soon on Metro TV.
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you're getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge-prone transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations. Season 3 of the Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family.
Right, welcome back from the break. Today is the 24th of August, 2026. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. Monday back from the weekend. Very, long weekend it was. But as you know, you close your eyes on Friday and the Monday is back here. But we're grateful for the gift of life and back on your screens here on Metro TV on Good Afternoon Ghana. I am Desmond Okrekunas. We'll be discussing a number of issues, but heavily on the program today, we'll be talking about the Clean Conference 2026 that took place at the City Conference Hall of the University of Ghana last Friday. We had been talking about that for a while, and then it happened on Friday. Very beautiful. It was successful, and we thank everybody who took a part in this. Let me begin from, for all of us here at Ignite Media, the whole team, everybody, who partook in the organization, every aspect of it. Yes, kudos to all of us. And then to our special guest that we invited, the Chief of Staff, Dr. Julius Deborah, thank you so much for your presence. The Gamante, although he couldn't make it himself, he sent a representative, and it was beautiful. He came with his entourage, and to all our partners in the sanitation space, from ESPA to all of them. I wouldn't be able to mention all of them, but we are grateful that you all came out. To our students from DH Media, to UNIMAC, to the University of Ghana, thank you so much for coming around. To the policy makers, everybody, to the that's the German ambassador. He made very profound statements. We'll get into all of the statements and we'll dissect it because at the end of the day, we do not want it to be just about the talks. We do not want it to be just coming to sit down 3-4 hours, talk about the things that we probably know already while we are having the situations, but it's about the steps thereafter taken as we drive towards the SDG goals in 2030. And that was the theme for the program, Assesses Ghana's Progress Towards the United Nations SDGs for 2030. And it was a beautiful program. So, yeah, that's what we'll be talking about, Mehdi, on the program today. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana, also on YouTube, Metro TV Ghana and DSTV channel 277. And on the day, you must have seen Vanessa Dotun Boateng doing her thing, Harriet Adi, everybody on board. And of course, let me say big thank you to Medical for also coming around on Friday for the Clean Conference 2026. So I've got Natasha here with me and Nana Kwesi. We're going to look at the program and the speeches and also just take a look at how we can move on from here. How do we get ourselves to, make sure that this progress is one that we can achieve by 2030? I remember that by the end of the program, when I asked, are we on the right path? Will we be able to achieve the SDGs in 2030? The big answer from the room was no. So it means that there's a lot to do. Natasha and Nana Kwesi, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. How's your weekend? I know it was a very tough one on Friday.
Yeah, it was.
You've rested well?
Something like that.
It's 50-50. I mean, for me, it's 50-50, so.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay,
I mean, we keep going.
Okay. You can't stay home because you've got to do the work.
Yeah. Sure.
But Kwesi, we had been talking about the program for a while with all the ads that we're doing here on Metro TV, Original FM for this all-important program. You were there on Thursday night when we spoke to you. What was your whole assessment of what happened at the program on Friday at the Clean Conference?
Well, I mean, personally, what I would say is people are beginning to listen and they are beginning to pay attention when it comes to our sanitation issues. Because if you look at the number of people that came, that patronized, the program, it would tell you that, listen, we have a challenging situation here, particularly Ghana and then particularly Accra. What can we do to help the situation or help, resolve some of the challenges with our sanitation and environmental challenges? So I think people are beginning to, they're getting woken up by the fact that we need to be very, very, very prudent, or let me use the word pragmatic, when it comes to our sanitation challenges in terms of like taking care of our environment. Individually, I like to go there because if each and every one of us is taking very good care of our environment within our own space, I think the whole Ghana, if we start today, by next week, the whole Ghana will be clean. Yeah, I'm just being sincere. The whole Ghana will be clean. So individually, that's where the challenge is. It's behavioral. I mean, some of our speakers had to say that it is about changing the way we think concerning the way we take care of our sanitation and environment. And people are so, I don't know how to put it, but then when people travel from here and they go to other countries, immediately it's as if there's a switch.
Right.
They become clean. Yeah, they become clean in their ways. But then as soon as they come back to Ghana, they don't mind, drinking a bottle of water, throwing it somewhere, or maybe pure water, throwing it somewhere, because they think that's the culture here in Ghana. Why should we think that way? We should have learned that. Yeah.
Of course, it's a very important point. I remember that a number of our speakers talked about saying. So
I will argue the opposite, though. I mean, I do think that we should take responsibility in keeping our environments clean. But the reason that somebody would go to, say, America and their attitude was changed is because the government is directly involved in making sure that you have bins around to put your rubbish in. So if I decide today I'm clean and I go to Circle and there's nowhere to put my rubbish, where do you expect me to put it?
Have you?
I really like how the panel. Did you know the panel consistently mentioned, apart from saying, "Oh, we need to change, take personal responsibility and keep our environments clean," is that we need to be able to account, the government, make them accountable for things, assess the MMDs especially, make sure that they are putting things in place, doing the right things. And then there's a whole, I don't know his name, but he had like a whole pyramid scheme on changing, say, materials that we use in production and all of that. It is not single-handedly an individual problem that we have to make sure that, oh, you keep yourself clean. This is the government that has to take initiative, and we will comply.
Okay.
The reason people outside will comply is because the system to it.
Okay. I definitely understand the points here, and most of the speakers talked about it. So things that came up were the mindset, which comes with the behavior, and then the role of government, the role of the local assemblies, as we have, we had Christian, the Okaikwe North MC join us, Christian Tete Baja. So from the local assembly, and then generally as a country, the priority for it also came up with regards to how we tackle sanitation.
True.
Do you know that, I could agree with you perfectly from the government perspective.
Yeah.
But do you know there are places where, or have you not seen places where there are dustbins, even in your halls? when you were in the university,
no, I like the fact that you're bringing that.
When you were in the University of Ghana, in your classroom, in your lecture halls, there will be a bin, and I've seen that. I mean, everywhere there's a bin there.
It's outside the classroom, just so you guys know.
No, but there's a bin. You see places where, so the same way you see a traffic light, that is supposed to regulate how motorists use, you know, a particular stretch. But you still find people finding ways and means, when the red is on, they find ways and means to break the law.
That's where the government comes in, to make sure people that fall or break the rules will be punished. You enforce the law.
What's the mindset for your, so I'm now taking it to the Gen Z, you know, the Gen Z world. What's the mindset about this? Because I remember that the former CEO for EPA, Dr. Kokufu, mentioned that his generation has failed Ghanaians, or has failed Ghana in tackling sanitation.
Right.
Because this is something that has been there for a very, very long time. There's been a lot of talks. People have given birth, and it goes on from generation to generation. Now to your generation, are they understanding the need for them to be clean, for the country to go on this tangent?
Yes, I would argue that my generation really puts sanitation and sustainability, we prioritize it. Okay?
Right.
And it would go beyond, say, putting rubbish in the dustbin. It's the things that we buy. And so when the conversations of, say, fast fashion come in, how you just buy something from Fashion Nova or Shein and you throw it away because it is fast fashion, and something chic or new is going to come in within a month or two. And I've seen people, and it's a whole movement in my generation where you decide to boycott, say, Shein or any other fast fashion brand because they're not producing with quality materials that you can use over and over again.
That is outside the control in Ghana.
That is everywhere. I mean, again, it comes.
So that's the
conversation
mindset.
Listen, so it's like if you can afford to, you know, there's obviously difference, like it's nuance to the conversation. If you can afford to say not purchase something from Shein because you're promoting sustainability, then you can do. But I know that we have boycotted brands to make sure that they use good fabric, or say they're paying their employees very well, etc. When it comes to opt-in for, say, paper bags or bowls made of, you know, paper instead of plastic, and straw. I've seen a number of people use like a metal straw instead of the plastic ones that we use. I think we do prioritize sustainability, and we are the generation that can boycott a brand when you need something comes up and we see, oh, you're not paying your employees well, you're using bad materials, all of that. And so we are able to do that. I think our generations, the generations before that, could not say, oh, they think, oh, it's fine, it's nothing. And again, it's not everybody, but I've seen that it is really a big deal among my generation, and I think it's impressive. And so for us, we prioritize sustainability and sanitation, and we speak about things like this. And so if you go on X, if you go on TikTok, all of that, it is, we use our platform to advocate for sustainability. And you would see, because when the topic of illegal mining comes, for example, Galamsey, it is our generation that takes up space in social media, on social media platforms, to talk about it, to hold government and public office holders accountable. We do not play.
That's interesting to hear, because you need to understand the mindset of the generations as we have. from her generation and even younger, the understanding of what the SDGs or what we want to do, clean water and sanitation,
clean energy,
and all of those things,
production
and even talking about climate change and all of those things. If the understanding is there, now to a little bit older generation, right? Clearly, as I mentioned, Dr. Kokufu says, you failed us, you failed Ghana, because you've not been able to stop this. And here we are, that in 2026, and that documentary shot by the production team here was splendid. It just nailed, I saw how everybody was seated watching that documentary. Derek, I don't know if you can get and play a bit of that, but looking at that, and you know, Natasha is talking from a space of, would I say privilege?
Yeah, privilege. I mean,
a space of privilege where you are enlightened.
True.
And
because there's internet.
Because there's education also.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, internet is there for them. I mean, they had the opportunity to start with that very early when they were born. But then, unlike our generation, it wasn't there. So a lot of the information that
you didn't have internet.
You're not getting what I'm saying. I'm saying that the TikTok, the Instagram, and the rest, they started with you. So you are more informed now because everything that's happening around us, you get to see it firsthand. Unlike us, we didn't grow from there. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
The kind of information that, the kind of information flow was a bit, held back from us. And you would have to go to an elderly person before you get to have information. So that was the challenge that
but some will also disagree with you in the sense that in tackling the issue of sanitation, and we'll be playing some of the speeches from the program so those who missed out, you'll be able to understand what we're talking about. This is just our whole idea of what we think that we should be doing as a country. And this is led by Ignite Media Group, and so that's why we're having this conversation. We've seen videos and we've seen comments that some people have said, hey, can you know Ankatankas or mobile, the older generation understands that. But again, when there's a relapse in terms of the supervision as government and local assemblies are supposed to do, then the older generation left it. And then did not share that experience with their children. And so you still go around to many communities we have here, and you have people fishing or fishmongers situated in a heap of refuse doing their work there.
Yeah.
They are not young people, they are old people.
Right.
Who should know that? I mean,
it's not supposed to be there.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
You cannot be seen, defecating, open defecation. We're still grappling with that as a country at this point. Our guest from WaterAid mentioned that there's we have 16 regions, about 11 of them, apart from only 5, are not engaging in open defecation. So the problems, as we are talking about, they are huge because sanitation, open defecation, what does it cause? It causes health issues. And then we have the choked gutters, which will cause all of these things. So it's a myriad of issues that if we don't tackle, and that is where I could understand the government thing, because I've always said that the local assemblies have not done their job.
They are not doing their work at all.
Yeah, they are not doing their work, because if they are, they should be afraid that you walk by, then you see that someone has dumped a refuse, someone just drinks something.
I mean, and what you're saying, I support you largely because if you're talking about the local assemblies, let's take a look at every year since we started experiencing the flood. Every year, we already know that this is what is going to happen. But then what do? We sit down and then it happens. And then if you look at the number of deaths every year, it increases. So the big question is, if the local assemblies are telling us that they are doing their work, which when we were, reporting some of the floods and so on, they claimed that they were doing, we are not against them. We're here to work with them. But then the big question is, if you were doing your work, how come that almost every year the flooding situation occurs, but then we are not able to actually save a lot of lives?
Yeah.
And a lot of properties are also destroyed. How come we continue in that way? And when you ask them that, they say, no, we are doing our job. It's the homes and so on. People, that are individuals that are taking care of their things at homes. When they gather their refuse, they just throw it in anyhow, we'll do it. But then they are right in a way, because let me be very clear with you. When the cleanup exercise by the president was organized, we did cleaning from 37 to the Flagstaff House. Whilst that was being done, people were throwing the pure water rubbers on the ground. No problem. The following day, it's the same lane that I used every day. About 2-3 days, the place was back to the rubbish style that we experienced when we were doing the cleanup. So the big question is, people saw what was being done. How come their mindset is not changing about the fact that we really want a change in terms of making our environment clean? But then they've decided that they would want to stay that way. Why are we doing that?
Right. So I guess that's why we invited the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Julius Debra, to come around and be part of this conversation. So we're going to play that, and then when we come back, we would just listen to what he said and what we think about it. Then we'll also listen to other speakers on the day, a few things that they had to say, from the German ambassador to the spokesperson for the chief imam who was there, and that Sheikh Armiyao and some other speakers. So let's take a look at some of the speeches from the Clean Conference, and then when we continue with this conversation.
Every morning before Ghana goes to work, our streets tell a story about us. The drain beside the market, the plastic bottle left on the pavement, the condition of public toilets, the color of a river after heavy rain. These may look like small things. Together, however, they reveal how seriously we take public health and the future we are building for our children. A clean country is therefore not a cosmetic ambition. It is a test of citizenship. It is a test of leadership, and it is a test we must pass together. I am honored to join you this morning for this important conversation. I commend Ignite Media Group for bringing us together and for placing sanitation and environmental sustainability where it belongs, at the center of our national agenda. These issues deserve attention before the rains come again, the drains overflow, or diseases breaks out. When sanitation system works, societies prosper. People are healthier, hospitals carry lighter burden, children miss fewer days of school, and workers are more productive. The World Bank estimates that countries lose between 2 and 4% of their GDP each year because of inadequate sanitation. That is money lost, time lost, and human potential lost. Here in Ghana, we have made progress, but we must be honest about the distance still to be traveled. Millions of our people still lack safe household sanitation, and open defecation remains a reality in far too many communities. These are not merely statistics. They describe the daily indignity of fellow citizens. The government of President John Dramani Mahama is determined to close that gap. Through the Reset Agenda, we are investing in health, water, sanitation, and hygiene, because development must be felt where people live their lives. As Chief of Staff, I have the privilege of helping to translate the President's vision into results that Ghanaians can see and feel. In sanitation, promises mean very little unless they show up in clean drains, reliable water, safe toilets, and healthier communities. The 2026 budget allocated more resources to the Ministry of Health and provided targeted resources for water infrastructure. Government is expanding water systems, supporting rural sanitation and hygiene promotion, and strengthening the institutions responsible for cleaner communities. We have also reintroduced the National Sanitation Day, observed on the first Saturday of every month across all 16 regions and 261 districts as part of the broader Clean Up Ghana agenda. But one Saturday alone cannot carry the burden of the entire month. Its objective is just to constantly remind us that we need to keep our environment clean. The cleanliness must become a daily habit, something we must all pay attention to. Metropolitan municipal and district assemblies are being held to a higher standard. The Cleanest City Award will encourage healthy competition amongst assemblies, while the performance framework for MMDCs will include clear sanitation indicators. What we measure, we can manage, and what we assign, we must hold people accountable for. Our environmental work goes beyond the streets. The Blue Water Guards are helping to protect water bodies and confront illegal mining. The Tree for Life initiative is restoring degraded landscape while creating opportunities for young people. Clean cities, healthy rivers, and restored forests belong to the same national mission. That mission also requires enforcement. We have laws and bylaws. They must become visible in the way we live. Indiscriminate dumping cannot be tolerated. Houses should not be built without proper toilet facilities. Structures must not be allowed to block waterways and place whole communities at risk. Enforcement must be firm, fair, and consistent. Rules applied only occasionally or only to those without influence will not change the behavior. Government will support relevant agencies to do what the law requires without fear or favor. But there is a third part of this responsibility, and that is all of us, the citizens. Let me make it personal. If I, Julius Debra, were filmed dropping an empty bottle on the street, I know exactly what will follow. The headlines will be loud. Social media will be even louder, and rightly so. The office I occupy places a high burden on exam.
So that was the Chief of Staff, Dr. Julius Debra, speaking there at the Clean Conference last Friday. He made a number of points, and Natasha wants to talk about the cleanest city. He talked about enforcement, which I think is the right way to go. But aren't we too late for this? Have we not known this, that there's supposed to be...
Better late than never.
Well, that's true. It's also the thing about Ghana and Ghanaians that everything has to be on the face value. Like, no, what can then?
You take everything from face value.
Oh, okay. Because we've seen people started building way back on some of these places that were now waterways.
Yeah.
How did they get the permits? And so that's my problem. My problem is that as we break it down, who gave the permits? That person needs to be punished.
Are they giving permits out of empathy? Because that's not then it's
no, I am saying who gave the permits for buildings like that to be put up.
Yeah.
It is definitely from the assembly.
Yes.
So you need to find, you cannot just break down the building. There was an authorization for the building to be put up. So you go to the root of it that who gave you the permits?
And even the interesting thing about those buildings is that when you start the building, the assemblies are supposed to check and see who is building on places. They are building at places where they're not supposed to build. It is part of their job to check. Do you get my point? To know that, okay, this is what is going on in this very community. So if they don't check and then you finish the building, and then the next thing you know, they come to you and tell you that, listen, this is a pathway for maybe water or a gutter or a street, so we're going to break it down.
And these people are not compensated?
No, they're not.
They're not.
They are not.
So that's what my problem is, that with the enforcement that the Chief of Staff talks about, yes, it is needed. We need to break down buildings in waterways, buildings that are stopping water from flowing. Right. We need to put them down. But in doing that, one of the things we've not done as a country is punishing people or holding people accountable for that. So this building you put up here, when did you start? 2017 or 2022? Who was at the assembly in charge of giving permits for buildings? Who did that? Then you hold that person accountable that, did you not know that this and this and this? Then it starts from there. Then it becomes a norm
for
it becomes the there's a word I want to use. It becomes a lesson to other people who will be doing that. But we just go around and we see buildings that sometimes you see permits, stop, whatever.
So you're saying the punishment is one-sided because the person who owns the building is obviously going to come at a loss.
Definitely.
But the authorities are not being held accountable.
Definitely.
Because,
they gave the permits. They gave the permits.
But I think I can argue that we do see stop work by AMA.
Yes.
That is after the building has gone up to a certain level.
Yes, but then it's better for it to be put down at that level than for you to finish completing
would also
and then
surprise you.
finish in your building.
It would
and then you
surprise you
can't
to
pull the
note
building down.
that you would see stop building.
And then people clean it.
And then they clean it and then they finish the building.
And that is when you finish the building and we pull it down, it is your fault.
Yes.
Because when you started building it, we came to tell you, oh, you should not, or you should come see the AMA.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so people deserve to be punished that way.
I understand that also. So as part of the things that we focused on with the clean water, it's a very big issue because to be able to have clean water, the sources have to be right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as a country, we are grappling with illegal mining, galamsey, where river bodies that are supposed to serve, the Ghana Water Company to be able to treat them. We've seen Ghana Water say that they are not able to do that because of galamsey.
Yeah. And they have to import expensive chemicals to treat the water they have.
Yes.
And now you won't have water for a whole month and you will still get water bill. We are suffering the consequences of illegal mining.
So that's it. Again, that goes to the root cause. What is the root cause? And when it comes to illegal mining, I have my... Listen. The PRO for the Lands Ministry has mentioned that it's a tough fight because we know the people who are involved in it, from politicians to chiefs and blah, blah, blah. So it means that the people who are involved, we know them.
Yes.
But we always stop with those at the end of it, which are the workers. They are the people that we arrest. And then, take them to the police or whatever.
Who will later be released? Because if you are working for a politician or the chief, you will obviously intervene.
So if we do not take that bit of galamsey and the promise of stopping that, if we do not, then the clean water that we are looking at for 2030, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen at all.
Because Ghana Water needs so much to be able to clear the water. And certain areas in this country are suffering in terms of water. Like you're saying, there's a serious challenge with water tissue.
Yeah.
Because
Ashaiman.
Thankfully, so there's a serious issue. By 2030, with galamsey and the things that we're seeing, can we achieve the clean water part?
That's a no.
It's a no for me.
If we're being realistic, we cannot.
Yes, it's a no for me to begin. Because, look at the northern region. We're already going there to do galamsey. We've moved towards that end. So we are just creating challenges upon challenges. And it gets to the point whereby the few others that are doing the best that they can to sort of like solve what we have at the moment presently, they become wary because they're like, we are solving this over here, and the next thing you know, you're moving to the other side too.
And we're not seeing any improvements.
No, it's a very bad situation that, we are doing it to ourselves. Let me just be very clear about that.
Which area, we're not going to play the MD of the Ignite Media Group when he spoke, but which area in Accra is the cleanest? Have you seen any area like that?
Well, I think...
every neighborhoods are clean. So the cantonments, the Laboni, my area.
I think that's net flats. It's a very clean environment also. And the amazing thing about that area is as soon as it rains, everything goes away. When it comes to the apart from
these are all in Accra, but then Accra is not the cleanest city.
And
the Greater Accra is not the cleanest region.
That's true.
So who will win the cleanest region awards? By the
if we were
chief of staff?
to do that, I think it'll go to the Volta region.
I think I would agree with you. And
the Bono regions, I think Sunyani has one.
Sunyani also,
yes.
is also, those areas look very good also. But let's take a look at this speech. Let's listen to Klaus von Backenstein, the MD for the Ignite Media Group, Metro TV, Original 91.9 FM, as we put this clean conference together. Let's listen to him.
Honorable Ministers, Members of Parliament, representatives of development partners, Noya Manche, representative of His Royal Highness Gamanche, traditional and religious leaders, chairman and members of Christian Council of Churches, members of academia, business leaders, civil society representatives, media colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Our theme, assessing Ghana's progress towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, is both timely and necessary. The Sustainable Development Goals represent a global commitment to building a world where development is inclusive, poverty is reduced, inequalities are addressed, and the environment is protected, and every individual has an opportunity to live a dignified life. But 2030 is no longer far away. We are approaching the final stretch of the SDG agenda, and this requires us to pause and ask some honest and difficult questions. How far have we come as a country? What have we achieved? Where are we falling behind? What are the barriers to progress? And perhaps, most importantly, what must we do differently to accelerate action? Ladies and gentlemen, for Metro TV and Ignite Media Group, this conference is not simply another event on the calendar. It represents our commitment to using the power of media to contribute to national development. As a media organization operating through Metro TV, Original FM, and Metro Digital, we recognize the enormous influence and responsibility that come with reaching audiences across different platforms. Our responsibility goes beyond reporting what happens. We must help citizens understand what is happening. We must provide platforms for informed discussions. And we must ask questions when institutions and leaders need to provide answers. We must highlight the problems and the solutions. And we must give a voice to our communities and individuals whose experiences can help shape national policy and development.
All right, so Klaus von Backenstein, the managing director for the Ignite Media Group, saying that, well, we don't want this to be another talk shop. You know, you don't want to come sit there and talk and talk and talk. The action is on the ground. That is why we brought government and we brought stakeholders in the sanitation space and all of that together so that we have this very, very important conversation. Let's listen to the German ambassador to Ghana, who also spoke there. In fact, so we can have a perspective of someone who's lived in a country or is coming from a country that is advanced in terms of climate. I mean, the work towards climate change, sanitation, clean water, and all of that. So let's listen to the ambassador, Frederick Landshop of Germany, as he spoke at the conference. Okay, so we'll bring you that shortly. But back to the bit about the talking.
Right.
And then I refer you to one of your favorite moments, and I'm sure in the auditorium also, a lot of people resonated with what Hineba of
said.
Pastor Boyce mentioned, and there was a loud, applause for him on that. He said, it is all about our mindset. It starts from the mind, how we think. But then the authorities usually act like they don't know what the problem is.
Exactly.
From day one, they've known.
And the answer is a certain action that needs to be taken. How do we do that action? Because again, for government, it's about winning an election.
Yes.
So when it comes to enforcement of certain things or policies, you've got to think about how beneficial it will be for them also in their campaign. how, from the mindset bit and lacing that in with government, are we a step, ahead in terms of the mindset, trying to change the mindset? Because for Bounce Top Boys, for us at Ignite Media, for the works we have done, you go to certain places that you buy food, and then they have intentionally built a concrete slab over the gutter. And when those slabs are broken off, you see the refuse, the mouse,
it's not just a small mouse, so they're very big ones.
Rat, everything in there.
Yes.
So dirty. But they're comfortable. I mean, they come and sit there, and all of that. How do we solve that? The mindset, where does it change from?
If we start to, change by ourselves individually, let me go there again and show the government and the people that are in authority that we can take good care of ourselves, they would also respond in that same manner. That's how I look at it. I'm not saying that they should check their responsibilities, but I'm just saying that let's start to treat each other well in terms of like when it comes to our environment and in our sanitation challenges. Let's see how best as individuals in our own homes we can take care of it. When the government begins to see that, then we are directing them that this is how we want you to treat, we want you to treat us. If you don't treat us that way, then we don't think that you can be there to lead us. We will actually pick people that would help us, do what we think would help us to be clean and also to keep our environment and protect it. For me, that's how I look at it.
Okay.
Right. I think Ghanaians like short-term benefits. And so if there's say a 20-year plan that we know is going to help us, and so we're going to start by, pulling down all buildings and waterways and wetlands and all of that, it's going to affect you. But because you don't want it to affect you, and this is the average Ghanaian, this is my building and I spent money on it, and I know that in the long run, if my building is pulled down along with the other 5 by me, in 5 years and 3 years, this place will not be flooded. It means the other buildings and everybody will be safe and nobody's going to get hurt, so nobody's livelihood is going to be affected. It's for the greater good. But the average Ghanaian thinks about their immediate benefits and short-term benefits. And I think that's the problem when it comes to mindset. It's the fact that we want instant gratification instead of what's going to eventually help us in the long run.
Right. And so that mindset bit, what Hindaba was talking about, that the mindset is the core foundation of every human problem.
Right.
The mindset of, I want to make quick money, so I'll pollute the water body. The mindset that I like this spot and I'll put my building here, whether it is I'll cover it with some concrete, whatever thing.
What are we?
The mindset, the mindset that, even if I kill the rabbit, someone will still come and throw it here.
Exactly.
So why not? Let me just do it.
The
mindset that we paid people to clean, so we have to drop it.
Let me give you something very funny. Let me give you something funny. If you look at some of our communities, they'll tell you that, if you go to the Gota Wachi, that one is very
the nicest one.
And the nicest. How can we think like that?
Exactly.
That, okay, a Wachi seller sells closer to the gutter. That is the Wachi. That's the best Wachi that you can go for. How can we think like that?
The flavor comes,
the flavor.
With the food that sweat has, been poured into.
How can we think like that?
Yeah, that's again for me is the mindset, and it is very crucial that our little brothers and sisters who are coming after us need to understand where we are as a country. If not, they will follow suit. Because this is not to brag or to that's what I do. We do fear and I drop it at home. I don't know for my little brothers and sisters if they understand that. And that is the consciousness of the mindset that anybody wants us to talk about. Because if an elderly person is seen doing it, we are sitting at the store, you do that and you throw it away. That's what the kid is going to do. You also finish drinking Calipo and throw it somewhere, thinking that, or you get it? So the mindset for me is very important. But again, the priority of government is one of it.
Sure.
Yawatahin mentioned that we haven't prioritized sanitation enough as a country.
Right.
We haven't.
That is
because
true.
even if we had, with the waste that we are generating as a country, we would have put in place policies to be able to have them recycled for other things. But here is one man, and I always say that, here is one man in the name of Jospin who has seen that and has been able to establish what the recycling one, a lot of them. Do you get it? But as a country, as Ghana, we cannot say that we have recycling, which is recycling plants, which is owned by government in every region, where every refuse that is taken to that side. It was asked that in Accra, currently, where do we have a dumping site? They are literally full.
They are all full, yeah.
They say there's one at Tama.
There's one at, if you're going to Abokobi.
Yes, there's one around that side. And then now everybody has to go to Nsawam to go and put that there. And those are all private spaces.
All right.
Yeah, it's because we're not recycling. So the dumping site get fuller almost every now and then.
Yeah, because we're recycling this.
Yes.
You can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
And that is where the foresight that I believe that government needs to have in terms of sanitation issues should come from. Let's listen to the German ambassador as he spoke on Friday.
Being aware of that matters because globally we are not moving fast enough. In 2015, the world made a promise through the SDGs. By 2030, everyone should have access to safe water and sanitation, for instance, not as a privilege, as a human right. We are now less than 4 years away from that deadline, and the world is not on track to achieve SDG 6, 7 and 11, and unfortunately not even close. So the question is no longer what we want to achieve someday. The question is what we are prepared to do today. And that is why this conference matters so much. Here in Ghana, water bodies remain under enormous pressure from waste and plastic pollution and of course from the devastating effects of Galamsey. But environmental decline is not inevitable. Let me take this opportunity to commend the government of Ghana for its renewed efforts to protect the country's water bodies and improve sanitation. Germany is proud to work alongside Ghana on this broader challenge, and this cooperation builds on many years of working together.
Right, so Frederick Lanshoff there, the German ambassador to Ghana, speaking there from a perspective of a citizen of a country who advanced in terms of tackling sanitation, climate change, and all the SDGs, most of it that we're looking at with the Clean Conference. And so we have a few minutes more to go, but one thing that was important for me also was that we had the opportunity to have religious leaders there from the church, from the mosque. How important do you think that, and this one I would have asked Tornado on the side, but for leaders like that, what should be the conversation from them to their, because every Ghanaian goes to church or goes to the mosque, belongs to one religion or the other, traditionalist or whatever thing. But of course, the majority Christians and Muslims. How should they put the message across to the people to understand what we're trying to do as a nation?
Preach it like you do on a Sunday. Like you come and talk about how people should pay tithe and offering and talk about fornication and all of that. You talk about sanitation. You talk about sustainable living. And it's, preaching is not all the time. Like you open your Bible, every single thing that we face, God has something to say about, so Jesus has something to say. The Bible is, the way of life as a Christian. there's way different ways that you can inculcate that message of sustainability and sanitation and being clean into everyday teachings that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So say, oh, you're in a trotro and you don't have to throw it outside. You can put it in the car and the mate will sweep afterwards.
Yeah.
You can opt for, and again, education is really important because if we have options to choose between, say, a brown paper bag instead of a plastic bag, then we can do that. Oh, don't be greedy. Don't buy what I want and expect a nylon bag or a polythene bag, okay? We can do that. It should be inculcated into everyday preaching so people can, Ghanaians listen to their pastor. It's gospel, like whatever bishop says, whatever papa says is gospel. So if we do that, if, religious leaders, so Muslims, pastors, reverends, bishops, all of that, just inculcate it into everyday preaching. And I think your members take their pastor's words for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that. And then, the Bible also says that cleanliness is what? Next to God.
Actually, it doesn't directly say that. Actually,
No.
Been debunked.
No. I don't want to debunk that. I'm saying so because, I'm bringing that point across in the sense that it is telling you as an individual that this is what you've got to do with yourself. So I think you've said everything concerning the church and then also the mosque and our religious bodies and so on. As they are preaching about the tithe and then the rest, they should also continue to talk about the fact that this very earth that we all live on was here before we got here. And we can
need to safeguard it for the...
Yeah, we have to safeguard it because the earth is what takes care of us. So if you're not taking care of the earth and then the things that are on this earth that takes care of us, the sun, very soon we would destroy even the sun from shining on us. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm just being sincere with you because the sun also needs certain things on earth to actually shine well. Do you get my point? There are the trees, there are the birds, there are whatever. We keep cutting the trees, we keep polluting the water bodies and so on. We get to the point where now there's nothing on earth that's working because we have what? Spoiled everything.
Yeah.
We're not being good stewards of the environment.
Of the environment. Yeah. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll listen to the Zoom Lion rep, Dr. Yandam, who also spoke at the conference because, in this country, the leading waste management company with expertise, with infrastructure, is definitely Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. The partnership, as we're talking about from government, the investment is one of the things that we need to talk about because regardless, Zoom Lion is doing everything actually. So we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll listen to Dr. Yandam, and then we'll get to the conversation and wrap it up in a bit. So stay with us here on Good Afternoon, Ghana.
The pulse of a nation, rising, unshaken. When the Black Stars take the world stage, we don't just play, we bring the storm. Fuel the dream. Support the Black Stars. Storm Energy Drink. Make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register, list, rent, buy or sell, and connect with correct agents. With our AI-powered smart search, personalized dashboards, verified agent connection, and interactive property maps, all your property needs have been made easier. Check us out on 7terragh.com or contact us on 0302 998 246 or 0561 032 252. 7terragh.com, powered by MNC Properties.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Sametra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sense of Mama Hotel so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Today's class is going to be an exciting one. Now, who can share an unforgettable moment in their life? Okay, Asempa.
I'd like to talk about my first time. It was her natural look, complemented by her favorite green silky apparel that caught my attention. I have to say, she automatically possessed me with her smile, which exposed her beautiful white teeth. That's not all. Her enduring signature perfume could be smelled from afar. Madam, why do you look so surprised? My first time with her was special and irresistible. I'm talking about Cindy Rice. Cindy Rice can be found in selected supermarkets nationwide.
Cindy Rice, sweet aroma, great taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
This is the old way. Let me show you a new and a better way. EduPack.
EduPack?
Yes, EduPack. A GS-approved and supported initiative for all first year students going to SHS by Prospectus Ghana Limited. Now you don't need to go to the market. All your trunks, mattresses, pillows, including plastic chalkboards, are all waiting for your child at the school. Note, all our wooden chalkboards are being changed to plastic ones to avoid bedbugs.
You can also register by dialing *713*821# following the prompts, or you can visit www.edupackgh.com and tap register. You can also register at any ADB branch near you at a very affordable price. EduPack, approved and supported by GES.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains. It's a special goal. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. This football is from the heavens. What a story this is.
10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
The biggest stars from the world's biggest leagues on Supersport. It's on GoTV.
I've been in the industry for almost 2 decades now with Zoomlion. I currently support international business development for the Jospon Group of companies. I would say that Ghana have built a very replicable model when it comes to waste and sanitation that other countries have begun to troop in to learn what we have developed. We have been able to sustain infrastructure in the sector that is able to sustainably manage waste across the multiple value chain. And when we talk about solving the problem with the multiple stakeholders involved, we talk about government, and government comes in several layers. We have the ministerial level, we have local level who are in charge of implementation. We have development partners who are part of our development systems, and then we have the private sector where Zoomlion currently sits. To solve the problem, I would say each of these stakeholders have their roles and responsibilities, which must be clearly demarcated. Government, for instance, according to our policy, private sector is supposed to do the service delivery for up to 80%, and government provide the regulation and the policy. While what development partners should do is to provide a catalytic financing, such that if a private investor needs to invest money, what the development partner needs to do is to catalyze the system to make sure that the investment is de-risked to attract more investment. And the combination of these three institutions is where the solution lies. We must work together as partners and not independent institutions.
Okay, right. So there you had Dr. Rebecca Yandam of Zoomlion Ghana Limited speaking there, talking about having stakeholders come on board together with the government, the partnership to make this work. And as we were saying, and as you know, that Zoomlion Ghana Limited is one that is leading waste management in this country, doing this for a very long time. The infrastructure is available, all of that. In fact, the president had to call on Dr. Joseph Siao Ejapong to open the transfer stations to allow all the refuse that were collected by the Aboboyes and all of that to be able to take them there. And it's very important that there's investment and there's support for Zoomlion Ghana Limited to be able to do this. As we wrap up, we've basically touched on a number of things of all angles regarding this conference, and by 2030 what we should do in terms of support for the private sector, and more so with Zoomlion Ghana Limited here. What would be your final remarks on this before we just wrap it up?
I heavily support public-private sector collaboration. Zoomlion has what it takes. The government should partner with Zoomlion. It's going to be easier because we have seen, as Chrissy was saying, that the local assemblies or the MMDAs are the assembly people doing enough, and can they take the task upon themselves to see to waste management in
because now they're the ones who've been given the work to do.
Exactly. Yes. And then they will say, oh, but we've done our parts. And
I don't think they have the capacity to do that.
Exactly. And so we do need systems and organizations like Zoomlion to help the combat or the fight against all the natural disasters or the environment being dirty, all of that. And come into resources to help, even as say if government partners with Zoomlion for projects, or to make sure that we put waste management at the forefront of our goals and priorities, as they really should resource the local assemblies, the MMDAs, because they can't say it. They can say they're doing their work or they're doing their job. They can't say, oh, we're not being financed, because they need to be resourced to be able to do their work efficiently. And if they're not getting all of that or everything they need from the government, then they can't do their jobs. Right. And then it will make them look bad, because we keep on holding them accountable and we keep on mentioning their names. But if they're not being financed well, then they can't do their jobs. So basically, public-private sector collaboration and financing, every institution, government institution that needs to, or that is accountable for waste management, which includes, basically the MMDAs.
Right, fantastic. We'll see, wrapping up.
Well, I think she said everything, and the only thing that I would add to it is that Zoomlion, like you're saying, has got all the facilities. So a lot of these organizations that are springing up to help with sanitation issues and cleanliness in Ghana, all that they have to do is to come together and then join hands with the one who is actually leading, so that they can do it together. That way we are able to effectively, get the job done quickly. Right, thank you very much, Nana Kwesi and Natasha Jamra. Today was an in-house conversation on the Clean Conference that took place on Friday at the City Conference. So once again, thank you to everybody who came around for the conference, everybody who took part in this, from medical to the Chief of Staff, to the Garman Chair, to all the stakeholders in the space. Thank you so much. Let's do this together. There's more right here on Metro TV, original TV and original 91.9 FM. I am Desmond Okrekudas. We're back at 7 p.m. with News Night. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Welcome to GH Schools, your #1 training institute that offers practical-based tuition in